You know, I think we all agree on one thing. The shorts, longs, bears, bulls, we all agree upon one topic. This market never fails to disappoint. Let's get into the video. Hey guys, welcome to the Stockwatch channel. So today, was this the start of the stock market crash? In my opinion, not at all. We see these dips almost on a weekly basis, and every time people freak out. Is this the next crash? Guys, we got the Fed backing us up. We got J-Powell and the money printers over there. We're not headed for another crash in my opinion, and honestly, I expect a green day tomorrow. You know, this market is just so up and down, and as long as you manage the risk, there is so much money to be made in this market right now, and I'm changing my strategy slightly of what I'm doing. So as you guys know, I've been doing a lot of penny stocks, and we've been super successful, and I am going to keep trading penny stocks, but I have a new strategy in mind. With penny stocks, I'm only looking at day trades. In my opinion, holding a penny stock overnight in this market, anything can happen the next day, and as we've experienced this week, it's been a rough week overall just because of these penny stocks. There's so much fluctuations, it's impossible to predict what's going to happen, but there's some days where you can ride the hype on the penny stocks, so I'm looking at penny stocks as purely day trades. Now of course there's a few penny stocks that I love long term. We got Tomy Environmental, we got Kronos. As you guys know, I love my Kronos stock. But there's just so much risk involved with these penny stocks. I just want to preach to you guys, penny stocks are super volatile, they're super risky, and for beginner investors, I highly recommend you either have a very small position size or you just watch penny stocks from the sidelines, because this takes a very high level investing, very high level knowledge ability. Just knowing the thesis behind each penny stock. If you're buying into a penny stock blindly and just buying and selling randomly, you're going to lose money in the long term. Now in the short term, who knows, you may get lucky, make some money. Penny stocks are just super risky. Always manage your risk and always have a plan in mind of what's going to happen, and always run through every scenario in your head. So personally, whenever I look at a penny stock, the number one thing I look for is risk versus reward. If there is reward that's more than 2 times the risk, that is a penny stock that I will invest in. Now if the risk is way more than the reward, it's not worth the investment, because at that point, it's just like a 50-50 bet. Are you going to get screwed or are you going to make money, luckily? So what I do, I always manage my risk, and that's the number one thing when you're looking at penny stocks. You also have to have a plan going into every investment. So especially with penny stocks, whenever you buy a penny stock, you have to know what catalysts are coming up, what news are you playing off of. Almost with every penny stock, you're either playing off the hype or you're playing off potential news or PR that's coming out soon. So you always gotta know what's happening with each stock. Never blindly invest in a company just because it's going up. Just always know what's going on with that company, know the potential risk factors, and know how much reward is associated with that penny stock. Alright guys, sorry for the lecture. I just really want to put that out there and make sure you guys are managing your risk, because today I just saw a lot of people getting screwed over by some penny stocks that they're holding way too long. It's just very risky to hold these penny stocks. Just want to let you guys know to always manage your risk. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to be going through some of the moves that I made today and what stocks I'm buying next, and also some of the things that happened today and some stock movement that happened today. So today was a very interesting day in the market. Very up and down for myself. We had some wins, we had some losses, and I also made some stupid moves today in the market. So first of all, I want to talk about a stupid move that I made. So yesterday after hours, I bought into Miragen Therapeutics, ticker symbol MGEN. My thesis behind this trade was that this company, after hours yesterday, they got the orphan drug designation from the FDA to treat T-cell lymphoma. So this was huge news for the company, that's why I bought in, and I was expecting a huge reaction from the market today at market open. So today we opened down from after hours yesterday. I was down pretty big on my position, about 10%. So throughout the day we just stayed pretty even, barely any price movement. And then towards the end of the day, I was thinking, okay, the market's not reacting to this, the market does not appreciate this like I do. And while at this point I should have added more shares to my position, because whenever you have information above the market, that's the key investments. So I had the information above the market, but I started getting scared thinking about this. I was just thinking, what if the market doesn't appreciate this drug? It would have shown the appreciation today with the price movement, and it obviously did not appreciate the price movement right. So I sold out towards the end of the day, about 30 minutes before market closed, and then after hours we see this huge pop, up 38% while I'm filming this video. I missed out on all of those gains because I had weak hands, because I did not stick with my original thesis, and because I did not trust the information that I had above the market. So even myself, I make some huge mistakes in the market, and I learn every single day from them. One big thing I recommend is every mistake you make, just write down on a piece of paper. Just write down, reflect on what mistake you made, and then you can look back on that and remember not to make that mistake again. That is something that I've done throughout my years of trading and just learning everything. That's the number one thing as an investor to move on. Right now you may be investing $10,000, but let's say in a couple of years you have $100,000 in the market. It's much more advantageous to make a big mistake with this $10,000 and make a big mistake with $100,000 you're going to have in the future. So learn as much as you can right now, learn from every single mistake you make, and as an investor, just grow from every experience. Alright guys, so let's talk about some stocks that I bought today and stocks that I'm very bullish on for the long and the short term. So the first stock I want to talk about is Jumia Technologies, ticker symbol JMIA. So I've talked about this stock a ton in the past, and as you guys know, this is pretty much the Amazon of Africa. They have so many parts of their business. I'm going to be going through each one real quick in this video and just showing you guys why I'm so bullish on this company. So let's look into the website. So as you can see on the website, it looks like a normal e-commerce platform. This is something like Amazon would have. Of course, the website is not as nice, but as you can see, it's just pretty much an e-commerce website. So the big play I'm playing here is Jumia's earnings. So they're expected to announce earnings for Q2 of 2020 on August 12th. So I'm very excited for that. I think they're going to kill earnings. So let's look into the business and the market share that they have. So Africa's market as a whole, which Jumia specializes in Africa, you can see they have 1.3 billion in population. They have 523 million internet users, and they got 4 trillion household and B2B spending. So as we know, Africa is a third world country. It's not the most developed, but as Africa becomes more and more developed, they have so much growth to have with the e-commerce business. As more people get the internet access, as they start ordering more and more things off e-commerce websites, Jumia is by far the #1 player, and Jumia is here to capitalize on everything. And the business is genius, and how they're taking this on is just genius to me. So let's look into this some more. So their mission as a business is to leverage technology to improve everyday life in Africa. And you can see they provide new services, enable businesses to grow, and they create sustainable impact by just making a ton of jobs available to these people who live in Africa. So they are by far the leader in the Africa e-commerce platform. As you can see, they got the marketplace, they got logistics, and they got Jumia Pay, which is kind of like a PayPal type service, a Venmo type service for those who know that. So some things you can do with this website, just like any other e-commerce website: buy a phone, buy your groceries, recharge your data plan, pay your bills, order a pizza. Pretty much just, you can do anything on here. You can see some things they're doing with their business. They increase the consumer lifetime value, they increase the relevance to consumers, and they increase consumer engagement. So you can see some of the physical goods they have and the services that they provide in this chart. So Jumia is 70% plus of Africa's GDP, which is absolutely huge, and about 70% of Africa's internet users use Jumia Technologies. So you can see the services they provide and by the percentages they have in sales. So 20% fashion, 13% digital services, 12% phones, 10% food, 10% beauty, 12% home and living, 9% electronics, 3% other, and 9% FMCG. So they have over 40 million product listings, 90% plus of items are sold by third-party sellers, so kind of like Amazon, and they also have 110,000 plus active sellers. So recently they launched the Jumia Mall, which is huge. They're going to the retail business, and in Africa it's still developing, so retail is still a big deal in these African countries. So looking at some statistics, 78% of online shoppers bought on Jumia over the last 12 months. 88% of Jumia shoppers said they went back to Jumia over the same period, and 89% of Jumia shoppers would refer this to a friend. So one risk that we have to consider with this is we don't know how trustworthy this business is. So personally, I've researched this a ton socially, and there's a lot of complaining about the customer service, how these people deliver the packages. Sometimes the packages arrive broken or messed up. So that is one risk to consider, and the only thing that has stopped me from going very heavy into this investment. So that is always something to be aware of, the risk factor. But like I was saying earlier, whenever the reward is so much greater than the risk, that is when I buy a stock, and I see the reward like 5 times the risk factors in this stock. So this is Q1 of 2019 compared to Q1 of 2020. You can see the growth that they're having. They grew 51% active consumers, and they grew 28% in the order space. So they're definitely growing as a business. Now they're not yet profitable because they are still in the growth stage, but this is a growth value stock, and there is just so much room for this stock to run. So I'm very excited about what Q2 earnings is going to bring. I do think this company is going to be performing very well, because as we know, we pretty much have to order everything to come to our house. A lot less people are going to grocery stores, a lot less people are going to retail stores. So this is huge for Jumia. As we see Amazon getting some crazy volume of orders, honestly, I don't know a family in the US that doesn't use Amazon, and I believe that Africa is going in that direction whenever they keep developing as a country, and as Jumia gets a bigger brand, they become profitable. This is huge. There's just so much market share that is ready to be had as Africa's internet users grow and grow. So this is one of my favorite long-term stocks. As you guys know, I've talked this one up a ton in the past, and I'm also very bullish on the short term leading into earnings. I think they're going to kill it at earnings. So that's a big thesis that I have with this one. I have a short-term and long-term thesis. One of my favorite stocks to buy right now. So the next stock that I'm going to be talking about that I was buying pretty heavy today is Sea Limited, ticker symbol SE. So this is another e-commerce play. I'll go into the stats in a second, but there's a huge opportunity here. There's crazy growth, and this is one of my favorite plays. As you guys know, I'm buying heavy into the e-commerce space just because I believe the growth is right there. That is soon to be the hot sector in my opinion. And these companies are companies that have the potential to 10x. It's just kind of easy money if you can get to these markets before they take off. So as we saw Amazon a couple years ago, that was first to the party of the e-commerce space. If we can get into these other markets before they start to take off, that is huge. They have already started to take off, but it's not too late, especially for Sea Limited. There's a ton of growth, and Jumia, there's so much value with Jumia, but Sea Limited has the crazy growth numbers, and they have more growth to come. So let's look into some of the numbers with Sea Limited and what they do as a business. So first off, let's look at the 3 business models included with Sea Limited. So the first one is called Garena. This entertainment platform is an online platform. They have mobile and PC online games. And just researching this has picked up a ton of steam over the pandemic. And as we know, so many people are online, so many people are picking up new hobbies. A lot of these hobbies have to do with online gaming, and Garena is taking full advantage of this one. So the next business model is Shopee. So this is kind of the Amazon type e-commerce play. Shopee is where people buy and sell goods, and this is one of my main plays on this, just because Shopee is the biggest e-commerce player, and some of these locations are located at, which we'll look at in a second, and they're beating Amazon in the market share in these countries. So the final one is Sea Money, which is the digital financial services. Fintech is a huge growing industry right now, and this one includes e-wallet services, payment processing, micro-lending, and related digital financial services and products that leverage the large user base. So there is a bunch of growth to be had in this one as well. So let's look at some of the numbers of Sea Limited's business. So Sea Limited is mostly located in Southeast Asia and Latin America. So they own the countries located here, and they're way above Amazon in market share. And this company has absolutely crazy growth, and we'll look at that right now. So look at these numbers. The revenue growth in Q1 of 2019 compared to the revenue growth Q1 2020, this is almost double the revenue, and that is huge. So let's look at the digital entertainment and the continued growth of user base. So as you can see, each quarter this is going up huge. Year over year, the quarterly active users is 48% up, and the quarterly paying users is up 73% since last year, and this is just Q1. Think about all the new users they've picked up on their online during the pandemic, and this Q2 is going to kill earnings in my opinion. So you can see they're up over 111% year over year in the gross orders and up 74% in the GMV category. And you can see their 3 business models. There's over 100% year over year growth in Free Fire monthly payers, and there's 10% growth in the monthly active users paying in India. So Shopee has over 140% year over year growth in gross orders in April, and we see Sea Money up over 40% in Shopee's gross orders using their paid mobile wallet service in April. So this is a huge one. Let's look at the profit. This company is up 424% year over year in the gross profit category. This is huge. This company is becoming super profitable. It's growing like crazy, and Sea Limited has more and more growth to come. As e-commerce becomes bigger and bigger, the online space becomes bigger and bigger in these developing countries. There's more users to be had. They're beating Amazon in market share, and I've only heard good things about their products. With Jumia, it is super cheap because we have heard some bad things about their customer service. With Sea Limited, I've heard no bad things. This company is just growing like crazy, and it's just an amazing service overall. So I'm very bullish on Sea Limited in the short term leading up to earnings, and in the long term, I love this as an e-commerce play. I'm looking to buy and hold this for a long time to come. I may be trading in and out on the fluctuations. As we know, during this market, it's pretty easy to take profits and then buy in at the dip because this market just keeps on going up and down. But once we even out as a market, you better know I'm making a huge position in Sea Limited for the long term. So the last stock that I was absolutely loading up on today is, you guys already know this one, Peloton, ticker symbol PTON. This stock dropped about 4% at one point today, and at that point, I loaded up on calls and I loaded up on shares. Peloton has been super volatile lately, and I have been trading in and out. Currently going into today, I did not have position after I sold out after we had that 10% pop a couple days ago, but seeing this new buying opportunity, I took full advantage, built up my full position, and I will be holding this one all the way up until earnings. So I've talked about Peloton being my favorite stock for a long time now. So why do I like the stock so much? And what is the upside of this company? And what are they going to do for earnings in August? So let's take a look at that. First off, we're going to look at their most recent earnings. So there's 2.6 million members in the Peloton community. There's over 886,000 fitness subscribers, which is 94% year-over-year growth. The retention rate of their customers is 93%. This is a key metric, just showing that they do have an amazing product. Their revenue is 1.4 billion, which is up 81% year-over-year. And the average monthly workouts per connected fitness subscriber is 17.7. So let's look at some of Peloton's products. First off, we got the super popular one, which is the bike. We also got the tread, and they actually announced recently they're going to be launching a new tread next year. That's going to be way cheaper, so it goes for a higher market share. This tread is currently selling for $4,295, which is super expensive and it has a small market. But if they can get this in the $2,000 range, the market will be huge. So they also have the subscription service, which is $12.99 a month per user. So let's look at some industries that have been disrupted recently. First off, we got movie theaters, taken over by Netflix. Next up, we got gaming arcades, taken over by the PlayStation and Xbox. We got music stores, taken over by Spotify and Apple Music. And then we got bookstores, taken over by Amazon all the way. So what's next up? Next up is the fitness industry. Peloton is right here. Peloton is ready to take over these gyms, make everything at home. So look at this huge market in the fitness industry and how much this is growing. So every year we see consistent growth. There's $4.2 trillion in the health and wellness industry. There's 183 million global gym members. There's 62 million gym members in the US. And there's 90 million gym members in Peloton markets. So let's look at the price of Peloton, which people say is so expensive compared to some of their competitors. So you can see the monthly cost per one person. And as you can see, as people just flame Peloton for being super expensive, Peloton is right up here, and if not cheaper than all of these other new fitness competitors in their new industries. So let's look at their customer base. Their biggest customer group, under 35 years old. And we always say Peloton's market share is only for the rich because we just say how expensive this is. But their fastest growing income bracket is under 100,000. So this is ready to take on all markets. So Peloton is constantly working on their product, constantly making sure that their customers are enjoying their product. So they have over 950 classes produced each month. They have community interaction, they have challenges, they got programs. And the big thing with this is the challenges. So we see friends, we see coworkers just competing with each other on this Peloton platform. It's kind of the cool thing to do. It's the new trend. And Peloton is a societal change. We're going to see people getting Peloton just so they can fit in with other Peloton users, talk about it with their friends, and work out with their friends while they're each at home. This is just a huge growing market, and they are taking full advantage of what's going on in the pandemic right now. So one of the biggest things that Peloton has over competitors is their trainers. So people are in love with these trainers. These trainers are the best in the business. The top ones are actually paid about $500,000 per year, and make sure to take care of these trainers so they retain them and don't lose them to other brands. A lot of people come back because they love their trainer so much and they have built that personal connection. And that is one thing that Peloton has absolutely mastered in the fitness space, just making this connection personal between these trainers and the customers. A lot of these trainers are also paid in shares, so they have motivation to make this company super successful and to give the customers the best experience possible. So like I was saying, Peloton is my number one stock. I do believe this industry is ready to be disrupted. Peloton is the number one player, the number one product, and the number one brand. I've seen pretty much zero complaints scanning the Facebook boards of Peloton, scanning tweets. Everybody loves these products. And like I was saying, there's so many orders happening. Peloton is making as many bikes as they can right now, and they're so backed up with orders. If you order a Peloton right now, it takes about 11 weeks because they are so backed up with orders. It'll take you 11 weeks to get your Peloton bike finally. So this is just straight up proof of how well Peloton is doing, how high the demand is. And they got the subscription service, which is huge for the brand. They have these very expensive bikes. They got the new treadmill coming out next year. This stock is primed for success within the next few years. And this is one industry that has not been heavily invested in yet. And Peloton is going to be the number one player that skyrockets within this fitness industry, in my opinion. And I'm super, super bullish on the short term leading up to earnings, and on the long term, just as Peloton starts taking over more and more of this market share as they pull people away from gyms and turn people to their Peloton bikes and treadmills for at-home workouts. So I was buying a ton of stock of these three companies today. And after we saw this big dip, I saw it as a huge opportunity to get in for long-term or short-term positions in these very steady growing stocks. So like I was saying earlier, I am very hesitant to make any large positions in penny stocks to hold overnight. I am very willing to day trade them to make some quick profit like that. But in my opinion, it is very risky to hold a penny stock overnight at the moment. So what I'm doing is I'm moving my portfolio over to these safer stocks that benefit no matter what happens. If people have to still stay at home, if we go on another lockdown, these three companies are set up. If the economy keeps on thriving, and if the vaccine comes out, and these companies will benefit with that as well as more money is being spent, as more people are buying bikes, ordering things off these websites. So it's a win-win scenario. You can't go wrong with these, and they benefit even more when people are staying at home and on lockdown. And in my opinion, it may be a while before the vaccine comes out. I do plan on making these three my biggest positions, just having some safe stocks to fall back on, no matter what happens in the economy, in our world, and in the stock market. So if you're interested in joining the private stock group, the link is down below. If you want $5 free on Acorn Investing, the link is down below for that. If you want 2 free stocks on Webull or 1 free stock on Robinhood, you can get those in the links below as well. I am affiliated with these programs and I do benefit. When you get your free stock, I do get a free stock as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you're learning a ton from this crazy market. Right now is the perfect time to be learning about the stock market, how to trade stocks, and how to benefit off of every single situation, how to build a portfolio, how to find these stocks, and everything having to do with all these stocks, including penny stocks. So guys, let's have a good day tomorrow, and let's get rich.